Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome to yet another beautiful day, another beautiful episode, another nice time with you. This is Humanist TV Africa, and this is your host, Kato Mukasa. And of course, I don't work alone. I work with a team of people, including Dennis Bongole, always in the studio, always working on the slides. Of course, Brian Kabeko in Kenya doing the same thing. And of course, we have a team across Africa. We have studios in Uganda. We have studios in Kenya. We have studios in Ghana. We have studios in Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. We are setting up a studio there. And we are hoping to go wide and far and cover many parts of Africa with studios, with none other than Humanist TV Africa. Humanist TV Africa, where everything begins and everything ends. We intend to educate, entertain, inform, learn, relearn. In fact, we intend to learn from you, our dear viewers. We know that most of you are more intelligent than us. Most of you are more informed than us. So indeed, we want to learn from you. We want you to educate us. We want you to build us. We want you to support us. We want you to be partners with us. We need you as you need us. We are humanists. We need each other. We don't hate on anyone. We are open for advice. We are open for collaboration. We are open for cooperation. We want to work with everyone. We want to work with you, our dear viewers. We want to be your partners. We want to have adverts from you. Remember, this is an online TV. We are interested in making adverts. We are interested in taking your business to the people. We are interested to showcasing your NGO to the people. Please trust us with these adverts. Trust us. We are going to be able to deliver on our promises. We are going to be able to reach wide and far. Remember, we are already connected throughout Africa. We have branches throughout Africa. We have been existing for the last 40 years as organized humanists in Africa, and we are getting stronger and stronger. Now, the interesting thing about us is that we are not believers in any God, though we are not going to be here and praise any God. We don't actually hate any people. We are not Islamophobic. We are not against Christians. We are not against Jews. We are not against Hindus or whatever. We are pro-people. We are humanists. Humanists are people that put people at the center of everything. Humanists are people that put every other individual, including non-living things, including the environment, including the future generation. We put everything before any other thing. Like, we don't believe in gods. We don't believe in miracles. We don't believe in superstitions, but we believe in doing good. We believe in being humble. We believe in democracy. We believe in democratic elections. We believe in fair play, fair trade. We believe in peace and harmony. We believe in love. We believe in creating societies that work. We believe in compassion. We believe in empathy. So don't ask me again, what do you believe in? I've just told you what humans believe in. Some people say, when you tell them, oh, I don't believe in God, say, so what do you believe in? I've just told you I believe in democracy. I believe in fairness. I believe in free and fair elections. I believe in fair trade. I believe in world peace. I believe in empathy and compassion and passion. I believe in humanity, especially if humanity is going to do good for the rest of us. I believe in a fair environment. I believe in environmental protection, conservation. I believe in democracy. I believe in good governments, not imperialistic governments, not governments that wage war. I believe in waging peace. So don't ask me again what I believe in. I've just stated what I believe in and what the humanism I know believes in. Accountability, transparency, love, honesty, humbleness, respect, integrity. That what I can do in hiding, I can do it in open. Accountability. You give me money, I must do what I have promised to do. I must be accountable to the people I work with and to the world. I must do everything with honor and dignity. Don't ask me what humanists stand for. I've just told you what humanists stand for. This is Humanist TV Africa. I'm an African, but remember, I'm not a racist. Everything begins in Africa because this is where humanity started from. Human beings that are human beings as we see them today began from Africa and immigrated in subgroups. That's why we have Euro-Asia, Euro-Asian people, Europeans, Caucasians, Asians, all of them began in Africa. Life began in Africa. The modern human being began in Africa and emerged out of Africa. Millions of years ago, emerged out of Africa. Millions of years ago. Then these subgroups became Asians, these subgroups became Caucasians, these subgroups became Africans. These subgroups came from Africa. It's believed that actually people came from my own homeland, which is East Africa. I come from the source of the Nile. People have put Tanzania as the source of life. People have put Uganda as the source of human beings or humanity. Yes, I come from right there. I'm a proud African. But of course, all of us, as Dawkins has said, as Hitchens has said, and scientists have said, all of us start from Africa. We are one people, different skin shades, but we are one people. Our work as humans in Africa have been sponsored by Caucasians. Our work as humans in Africa has been sponsored by Caucasians. You call them white people. I don't call them white people. There's no white person unless you don't know the color white. Whiteism is created by imperialists and colonialists in the US after the Nathan Bacon rebellion. There were no white people. So don't call them white people. That's an insult to me, who knows the history. There are no white people. They are Caucasians, they are Asians, they are Africans. But these people have different varying skins. Even among the Europeans, they don't have the same skin tone. Even among Africans, I'm chocolate brown, they are black Africans, they are dark Africans. So we are different, but we are united. We are one people. We are humans. President Ronald from Uganda, greetings to you. Thank you for watching and thank you for encouraging us to keep on going forward. Of course, President Uganda is a humanist, freedom and Rome. We support you with your work. We encourage you to continue. And we want to open a studio with you right in Mbarara. Now, having said that, and having defined what humanism is in a simple terms, humanists are people who don't believe in God, but they believe in doing good above superstition, above gods. We put people at the center of everything. Now, it's the reason why we have this Humanist TV. We are believing that Africa does not need aid, and I'm repeating it for the 10th time. Then it's going to help me to pick it up. Africa does not need foreign aid. Please stop giving us your foreign aid. We don't need it in Africa. We don't need handouts in Africa, because you have given us these handouts with one hand and taken these handouts with the left. You give us with the left and you take with the right. Please stop giving us your conditioned aid. It doesn't help Africa. In fact, your aid is dead in Africa. Please, can you stop giving us aid in Africa? Your aid has promoted dictatorship. Your aid has eroded our democracy. Your aid has destroyed Africa. And you use your aid to market Africa as a dying continent, as a poor continent. We are not poor. We are not poor. We have all the resources it takes to be a rich continent. We have all the minerals. We have all the soils. We have all the good environment. We simply have bad leadership. And by giving us this aid, which you condition, you destroy economies in Africa. I'm an economist. Before I became a lawyer, I first read economics. So I speak as an economist right now. And I tell you that your aid is not working in Africa. Your aid is being stolen by politicians. And your aid is eaten by you who give it to us. You give us aid with the left arm, and you take with the right arm. So our aid becomes useless. Africa, as Dennis has put it, I've been saying it, Africa needs more mental liberation than donations and aid. And I'm repeating it for the 10th time. Africa doesn't need aid. Africa does not need handouts. Africa needs mental liberation. You will give Africans all this money, but if you don't prepare them to receive this money, to use it profitably, this money is going to get wasted. I was saying jokingly that give money to people in northern Nigeria, to the Islamists in northern Nigeria, they are going to marry not one wife, not two, not three, they are going to marry 6 wives. I'm an African speaking this. Because the mental ideology is diseased. It's the reason people wonder, why should a lawyer, why should an economist in Kato Mukasa, a lawyer with a master's degree, waste time, they call it waste time, online, talking about religion, talking about this. Yes, I chose this life. I'm well educated, well informed. I chose this life because I realized that without making a contribution on mindset liberation for my people in Africa, we shall remain a laughing stock. We shall remain a laughing stock. That's why I've dedicated my life to write and speak. I've been hated on that, but I've dedicated my life to write and speak. And I thank Dennis and other people, Mr. Evans, and my friend Linda who died, and everyone has been helping me to put this work forward. Senga, Belinda, and all those people. I want to thank them so much because without them, without Janice and others, I would not be able to do what I do. Now, we do what we do because we love our people, we love ourselves. We think that without speaking these things, we shall not change Africa. I may have a house, I may have a good car, I may have a good garden, but without changing the way people think, I'll die tomorrow and the things will remain the same. Yet when I was growing up, my life was changed by the books I read. My life was changed by Russians. I love Russians. You may hate Russians all you want. I love Russians. My life was changed by Germans. The Germans I read, Friedrich Engels, Friedrich Nietzsche, Leo Tolstoy, that's a Russian one. You know, the German's books I read, Friedrich Engels and others, changed me. Voltaire, the French guys I read books, changed me. Changed me. People like Wole Soyinka, the African guru, novelist, and playwright. People like Chinua Achebe, Alecha Madi changed my thinking. So why do I waste this time instead this lawyer waste time online? Because I realize that I can have a best car. I've had better cars when I was in Africa. I can have a good house. I can have all the money. But without contributing to mindset change, I'll leave this world without a mark. I'll leave this world the same as I found it. It's the reason why I waste this time instead of lawyering and doing other good things you want me to do. I chose to do this work. I chose to do this work. And without the people who have been helping me, I wouldn't have done nothing much. Joe Anita, who makes my books, Dennis, who designs my adverts, my book covers, has done a good job. Ewans, who sponsors me, Janice, Senga, Belinda, all these other friends of mine. I am proud of them and I openly talk about them because without them, I wouldn't have been here. That's the reason why I don't feel the need to see people hating on each other. We must move forward. And today's topic, therefore, I'm giving you a continued analysis of the situation in Gaza. Why do we talk about Gaza? Israel-Palestine situation analysis from a humanist perspective. Why do we talk about Gaza? Because Gaza, like Africa, matters. Gaza, like Palestine, Yemen, Afghanistan, Sudan, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, and of course, we talk about Russia invading Ukraine. All these are lives that matter. As I speak today, people in the Democratic Republic of Congo are fighting and killing each other. As I speak today, people in the Democratic Republic of Congo are fighting and killing each other. Africans are fighting and killing each other. But Congo is one of the most endowed countries in the world. Uganda is rich. My country, Uganda, is not poor. Never even say that we are poor. Uganda is not poor. I'll repeat it for you. Uganda, my country, is not a poor country. But I should tell you that Congo is 1,000 times richer than my small country, Uganda. In fact, Congo is more richer than so many countries in Europe. You can combine countries in Europe and they cannot have the richness of Congo. I repeat that. You can combine countries in Europe and they don't have the richness of Congo. They may deny it, but they know it. You can combine these economies in Europe. They don't have the resources Congo has. What have they done? They have gone to Congo for the last 200 years and stolen everything from Congo. I repeat that. They have gone to Congo in the last 200 years and stolen everything from Congo. And up to now, they still steal everything from Congo. So a Congolese poor woman and poor man and poor child is labeled the poorest in the world, yet he has the most rich country in the world. Why? Poor leadership. Why? Imperialism, neo-colonialism. Now, as a humanist who is educated, don't think I'm going to keep quiet with my knowledge. When I know this history, when I know how Leopold and the Belgians stole from Congo, how Congo made Belgium richer, and we think I'm going to keep quiet about that, how Congo made the French richer, how Congo has made all these countries richer. But when Congolese are so poor, when Congolese cannot even afford better roads in Congo, so what is the problem? So as humanists, you want us to simply keep quiet and massage the problem. Now, when you talk about these things, people get offended because they think we speak too much of the facts, but these are facts. Africa is not poor. Africa is deliberately made to look poor. Why? Because a poor Africa benefits so many other selfish people. That's why they have to market Africa on their TVs as a dying country, as a starving continent, as a continent under war. They must create a bad picture about Africa so that they can be able to exploit it. They can show Africa with kids who are malnourished, with people who are helpless. They don't want to show a good image about Africa. And we are saying no. Africa is not worse as you depict it. In fact, you are making it worse because you deliberately want the world to know that we are dying. We are not dying. So Humanist TV Africa is here to change the narrative, about Africa. Now back to Gaza. Gaza is in war, and I've been talking about this conflict for the last 4 weeks. I've told you the history of Israel and Palestine conflict. I've told you that Israel, as a country, ceased to be called Israel. It was a kingdom. The first king of Israel, if I remember correctly, was a man called Saul. And then David took over. And then Solomon. And then others. After the Maccabean revolution, the three brothers took over as kings. But we know that the kingdom of Israel was wiped out 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, the kingdom of Israel was wiped out. So there was nothing like a country 2,000 years ago. And who wiped out Israel? It were the Babylonians. Antioch, the Antichrist, the Antichrist. Go and Google Antioch and see a man who made Jews to eat pork. A man who made Jews to regret circumcision. A man who got a pig and put it on the temple of the Jews in Jerusalem and cut a pig at the temple of the Jews. The Jews hate pork. How dare you, Antioch, with your men, dirty men, mistreat Jews like that? You make them slaves in their own country 2,000 years ago. We talk about Adrian, the emperor of Rome, the emperor of the Roman people. Romans are Italians. Adrian, who destroyed Jerusalem, Galilee, Judah in the year AD 130 and killed over 30,000 Jews in a matter of a week. Blood everywhere in Jerusalem. He kills them. He doesn't end there. He goes and destroys their temple. And then he renames their place Israel, Judah. He renames it Anatolia, something like that. And then later on, of course, it becomes Palestine as a derogatory way of abusing Jews, because they knew that Jews were fighting with Philistines. If you look at the Bible, if you want to read history, Jews were fighting with the Philistines. So how do I abuse the Jews? I take their kingdom, I take their capital city, I take their temple, and I use pigs to desecrate their temple, and then I change their name. You're no longer called Israel. You are no longer called people of Judah. You're no longer Samaritans. I now call them Philistines. Then they become Philistines. Then they become Palestine. So Palestine is a creation of the imperials who had taken over the land where the Jews settled. But also we know that in history, also the Jews actually also came to that land. If you look at it, it's very interesting. I can take it the whole day. That Abraham basically bought that land where they were from a certain family. It belonged to another family altogether. Go and read your Bible and educate yourself. That even Abraham himself didn't own that piece of land. He had bought it elsewhere. Then it became for Abraham. Then after Abraham, we see Jacob and the others. Then Jacob, we see the 12 tribes of Israel. 10 tribes become Israel in the north. 2 tribes become Judah in the south. Read your Bible. I read the Bible for 13 years, so I know the Bible. Now, Judah survives after Adrian. Judah survives, but Israel is wiped out. They are forced to go to North Africa. They are forced to go all over Europe. The year is AD 130. No Israel, but Judah survives as slaves. The Romans make Israel, the Romans make Jews slaves. They make them pay taxes, including protection taxes. They took over their territory. They stop circumcision. They tell them, you won't circumcise when you are the one ruling you. They told them, no Sabbath. Become Romans like us. If you go to Roman Empire, behave like a Roman. You are no longer a Jew under the Romans. The Romans killed them. Look at what Antioch did. Antioch was not a Roman, but he did terrible. Look what Adrian. Now look what Emperor Nero, AD 60, around there. What Nero did to the Jews, their kingdom again. Look at his army general, who later became Emperor Vespasian, who was a general, army general of Emperor Nero. What did he do to the Jews? Terrible things. Look at the son of Emperor Nero, General Titus, who became an emperor after his father died, AD 79. Emperor Titus takes over AD 79 to AD 81. I remember those years. AD 79 to AD 81. Emperor Titus takes over, rules and kills the Jews. He makes them slaves in Rome. He gets them out of Jerusalem. He takes them to Rome and begins making Jews slaves in Rome, AD 79 to AD 81. Look at history. Doesn't tell lies. After Emperor Nero, Vespasian takes over. After Vespasian, his son Titus takes over. After Titus, his brother Demetrius takes over. He also rules the Jews the same way, beats them, enslaves them, kills them, makes them prisoners. So the Jews have suffered. And not only those Romans, even others came along, torturing them, enslaving them. Now, Jews end their kind of colony, their kind of imperialism. The Ottomans come in. The Ottomans come in. The Muslims, the Ottomans, the Turkey, the Ottomans, the Muslims empire come in. What did the Muslims do to the Jews? The Muslims hated the Jews. Why? Because the Jews refused to accept Islam. And what did the Muslims do? They introduced a tax called Aziza. Go read history. What did Muhammad do when he was entering Jerusalem? Did he go to Jerusalem? Read your book. What did Muhammad do to the Jews? How many Jews did Muhammad kill? Thousands. How many Jews did Muhammad of Islam enslave? Thousands. He made them wear the orange uniform as slaves. He made them pay tax, protection tax, as Aziza. He made them convert to Islam or die. You either convert to Islam or die. You either convert to Islam or die. He killed thousands, if not millions, of Jews. Muhammad and his soldiers, the man you call a prophet of peace, killed thousands of Jews in his time. He ruled for 12 years in that region. Muhammad was there for 12 years in that region. Go read your history and find out how many Muslims, how many Jews did the Muslims kill in that time, in the period of 12 years. How many Jews suffered under the Ottoman Empire, under the Muslims first of Muhammad, before the Ottoman Empire becomes so big now. Now, when you look at all this history, it's a bad history. So the Jews are persecuted. They end up leaving their land without their will. In fact, the Jews who remain under Muhammad was so bad. This Muslim man called Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, was so bad that he made thousands of Jews run away for their life. They went to as far as Indonesia. They went as far as Egypt. They went as far as Morocco. They went as far as North Africa. They went throughout Europe. As far as America of today, there was no America by then. It was the New World. They went there. Why were they running away? Because they were being killed. By who? By the Turkey, Ottoman Empire. By who? By the Muslims. By who? By the Romans. By who? By the Greeks. The Greeks murdered Jews. Now, I tell you this history as a historian who knows Israel, who knows the history of Israel, who has read properly this history, and I put it here. Now, having mastered that, fast forward, what happens to the Jews? The Jews settle in America. The Jews settle in England. You know Rothschild. You have heard about Rothschild. Go and Google about Rothschild. You get to know what I'm talking about. The man behind the banking system in England, but also in Europe. The man behind the banking system, that family, who were they? Not Jews? Ask again. Now, look at the contribution of the Jews in the banking sector of the United Kingdom and in the banking sector of America, the Federal Reserve System. Go and ask yourself, what was the contribution of the Jews in the formation of the Federal Reserve System of America? Then you will know why America has a debt of gratitude to the Jews. Go and find out what was the contribution of the Jews to the American War of Independence. Educate yourself, you will know why America has a debt of gratitude to the Jews, why American government will never leave the Jews. Go figure it. Find out how many Jews were into the Confederate Army, how many Jews fought the War of Independence, how many Jews opposed it. They were both sides. Go and look at the statistics of making guns in the US. Who was behind the making of the guns? Jews. Who was behind the banking sector? Jews. Who was behind the success of America? Jews. Jews contributed greatly to the success of this America today. So Americans, especially the politicians, not the Jews. The Jews have been very wise people, very intelligent people, very smart people. They have contributed enormously to the world's civilization in that direction. That's why today I get disappointed. I give them a credit because I know their history. I've read it. I've read their history. I know the Jews did in Second World War. I know the Jews did in First World War. The Jews helped the Allies win the First World War. The Jews helped the Allies win the Second World War. How? Remember the German enigmatic machine? And who helped to decode it? Who helped to decode it? Who helped to break it down? Who are Jews? And why did Hitler hate the Jews? Using anti-Semitism. Hitler hated the Jews because of their brain. The Jews had made Germany lose the war. Go and read your history. The Jews had made Germany lose the war. The Jews had broken the sacred code of the enigmatic machine. So Germany lost the war, courtesy of the intelligence of the Jews. The Jews are good fighters. The Jews are good ammunition makers. And we are part of America. We are part of Britain. They helped to beat Germany hands down. Now Hitler hates them. Hitler bans 6 million Jews under the facade banner of Aryan race. We are the super race. The Jews are subhumanists. The Semitics are not like us. They are brown people. They are not like us. We are the white race. We are superior. He kills 6 million Jews. Why? Hitler hated them for what they had done before 1933. He hated them. Go and read the history. Now, when you look at that history, fast forward, Balkan Revolution, fast forward, Balkan Declaration, Balkan Agreement, 1917. Europe says, okay, Zionism has begun in 1910. We are going to take you back home. Zionism means they love to go back home. The Jews are saying, we have been dying in this country. You don't even love us in Europe. You don't even love us in America. You don't love us. We have our own country. We want to go back. So Balfour Declaration, 1917, they sit down and say, okay, France agrees, UK agrees, America agrees. We are going to take you back to your promised land. After all, it was your land. 1917, problems begin. Not until 1947, when the UN decides by a stroke of a pen that, okay, we have created a two-state system. We are going to divide Palestine, which was a protectorate, I put it in quotes, of Britain from 1910, if I remember very well, to 1922, around there, or 1922 to 1947, around there, Palestine had been given to Britain after the World War as a protectorate, as an area under the control of the British. Why? To control it and do what? And benefit out of it. So the British have Palestine under control. Why were they doing it? They wanted to punish Turkey. They wanted to punish the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire has been so strong until 1924. Go and read history. The Ottoman Empire had been so strong until 1924. So how does America, how does Britain, how does France weaken the Ottoman Empire, which had fought against them? How do we weaken them? Take away territory from them, take away Palestine from them, give Palestine to Britain as a compensation. So Britain has Palestine. And now in 1947, Britain says, I'm okay to have these guys go back home. The rise of Zionism. So Britain gives back the territory and then says, now we are dividing it. I have agreed. We are dividing this territory called Palestine into two. The beautiful area where there is Jerusalem, where there is near the water, they give the beautiful area to Israel. Then they get Gaza and West Bank up near the desert, and they give it to who? To Palestine. a two-state has been created. The beautiful place with the holy places, with Al-Aqsa, the holy mosque, the third most holy mosque among the Muslims is called Al-Aqsa. Go read it. It's given to who? It's given to under the control of Jews. Under the control of Jews. Yet Muslims want it. Yet Muslims think it's their own. Now they give all these holy places to the Jews. They have access to the water bodies so that they can always run away and come back, get ammunition and do that. Now they push the Palestinians away from the water body. They are pushed to West Bank. They are pushed to a strip called Gaza. That's how the conflict starts. 1947. 1948, the Jews come in a war. They have called it Al-Nakba, total destruction. They fight everyone to settle in. They settle in by force, no negotiation, by force. And blood is shed. Force. Now, from 1947, there haven't been peace in Israel. 1973, 1962, there have been always these fights. 1973, 1984, there have been all these skirmishes, all these fights. No peace in Israel. Now we ask ourselves the question, how about the current skirmishes? Not even skirmishes, they are more than skirmishes. The day is Saturday, I think, 17th October this year, 7th October 2023, the Palestinians, under the armed rebellion of the Hamas, which is a ruling government in Gaza, has a military wing of radicals. I condemn Hamas. I always condemn Hamas. Hamas attacked innocent Israelites who are celebrating their holy day, holy day, dancing away the night, celebrating. Hamas attacks them and kills over 500 people, including children below 10 years. Hamas kills them. Hamas kills them, slaughters them. Hamas got women, Jews, Israelites, women, and men, and bundle them together and label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 100 and shoot them in the back. Shoot them in the back. It was terrible. Hamas got children, labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4, and shoot them in the back, in the head, on that day of 7th October 2023. Hamas did not stop there. Hamas went to the nearby villages, and Hamas opened fire on people sleeping in their homes. Hamas killed over 1,000 Jews, Israelites, on the day of 7th October this year. Hamas officially became a terrorist group with that one act. It was an act of terror. Hamas did not end there. Hamas took over 300 people. They said 250, 300 people. Took them over, including all the women and children and babies, took them over as prisoners of war, as abducted people, as kidnapped people, took them over to their tunnels in Gaza. Hamas doesn't operate in the open. Hamas operates underground. Took these people in the tunnels. What did Israel do? What did Netanyahu do? Netanyahu declared a total war. Now, what Netanyahu has done is what has irked me and the entire world. Hamas kills 1,000 Jews. Netanyahu, in the last 4 weeks, has killed 20,000 Palestinians. I repeat it. Hamas kills 1,000 Jews and abducts about 300 Jews. Netanyahu and his people have so far killed over 20,000 Palestinians. And this includes children as young as 1 day old. This includes people, over 500 people bombed in a hospital they called a military installation. These include people who have ran into mosques and are being bombed there. These include people who have been given a safe passage in law. In the law of conflict, we saw that when people want to surrender, give them a safe passage. Israel gave them a safe passage only to shoot hundreds of innocent women and children. There has been blood in the streets of Gaza for the last 4 weeks. There have been blood in the streets of Gaza for the last 4 weeks. 20,000 people killed by who? By Benjamin Netanyahu and his IDF in revenge to 1,000 Jews killed. So 1,000 Jews killed equals to 20,000 Arabs killed. You can do the math. 1,000 Jews killed equals to 20,000 Arabs killed. And by the way, the bombing has not stopped. I've been telling people in my analysis that, look, the number of people Russia has killed in Ukraine in 1 year and 8 months is less than the number of people Benjamin Netanyahu has killed in the last 4 weeks. I repeat it. Go and check it out. The number of people Russia has killed in Ukraine is less than the number of people Benjamin Netanyahu has killed in 4 weeks. Go and check it out. And at the same time, Benjamin Netanyahu wants to force 2 million Arabs out of a place called Gaza. And at the same time, Benjamin Netanyahu has made Gaza for the last 16 years an open prison. Gaza is the definition of apartheid in modern day time. Gaza is the definition of apartheid in modern day time. No water, no electricity, no food, no medicine. He wants them dead. Netanyahu wants Arabs dead in Palestine. There is a verse he quoted this week where he was telling his soldiers to go and kill everyone. Don't spare anyone. Now, this is a total disaster. What has the world done? The entire world has been divided today. There are people who are pro-Israel. I'm going to show you photos where people in the US are saying, go and kill everyone. I'm also going to show you photos where people are saying, I'm a Christian, do not kill people. I'm going to show you photos where people are saying, to hell with Netanyahu. I'm going to show you photos where people have invaded the home of Netanyahu and surrounded it and say, to hell with your war. I'm going to show you people of a politician, Rashida, in America, a pro-Palestinian politician who they want to censor for speaking in favor of Palestine. I'm going to show you photos of Americans that are being censored from speaking out because they are saying that whatever you speak is anti-Zionist, is anti-Semitic, is hate. So then, my brother, we have 17 minutes to go. Let us use them to showcase the photos. Please rush them. I won't even explain that much. Just rush them so that we can be able to leave. Here, I'm showing you that the people in Israel come from different countries originally. Ireland, Isaac Herzog. Benjamin Netanyahu comes from Poland. Yoav Gallant comes from Poland. Berez Sonovchik comes from Ukraine. They come from different backgrounds. You can look at them. Gilead from Romania, Mark Regev from Australia, Tbilisi of Georgia, and then Benny Ganzi, Hungary and Romania. They are people who came from different backgrounds. Why? Because for 2,000 years, these guys were chased out of their land. Now, Israel has about 8 million people, and those identifying as Jews, Judaism, are 75%. Only 17% identify as Muslims, and of course, only 2% are Christians. There are no atheists in Israel, my friend. You can't be an atheist in Israel. Then let's continue. That photo is remarkable. It has been destroying the internet. A child, 2 children, with their dead mother. Who has killed the dead mother? It's the Benjamin Netanyahu camp. And who is sponsoring Benjamin Netanyahu? The American government. The 2 boys are full of blood, and their mother's dead. Now, this one is a politician, Rashida, a politician in America, in the Congress of America, who has stood up against Israel and the American government. And the American government has reacted by censoring her, but unfortunately, she was not censored successfully. They wanted to impeach her. For what? Because she made a statement that from the river to the sea. I think that was the statement, where she was like, Palestine must take over its own area from Israel, and she was almost censored. That is a Palestinian American who is a politician in America, Rashida. Now, this is very interesting. This gentleman here, his name is Rajiv. This guy here is Levy, Gideon Levy, is a Jewish journalist against Zionists. Gideon Levy, then give me a few minutes. I'm going to explain Levy in a minute. Levy, he's a strong critic against Zionism. Zionism means that you have a claim over land. Levy has given 3 points in this documentary, which I want to share with you. Number one, Levy says that Zionism is bad because, one, Zionists think that they are holy people. I repeat this. This is not from me. It's from Levy. You can Google Levy, and then you are going to say it's not my word. It's for Levy. Levy said that Zionism is bad because, one, it makes the Jews believe that they are holy people and that they have a holy land. And by being holy, what does it mean when someone says I'm holy? It means that you are dirty, you are inferior, he is superior. This is a Jew called Gideon Levy. Google him. These are his words. And I'll put them there. He said the number 2 of the problem is that the Jews, the Zionists, believe that they have all the right to cause a brutal occupation. Why? Because they were brutally occupied. I've given their history. So they said that number 2, because we are tortured by Hitler, we are tortured by Antioch, we are tortured by Titus, we are tortured by Nero, we are tortured by Vespasian. Okay, we also have a right to forcibly occupy our land, and we can use any means possible. Then let's go ahead with other slides. Levy says that because of this, the third dangerous thing that Jews have, the Zionists, is that they think that Palestinians are not human beings like them. Why? Remember that Zionism makes people think that they are holy, they have a holy place, and they are better than everyone. This is their own journalist saying it. It's called Gideon Levy. Simply go and Google him. I'm just showing you what Levy says. Levy says that because of this problem, these Zionists think that they are holy. No one is above them. They're above everyone. They have a holy land. They have a God on their side. And therefore, they have been tortured as second option. And therefore, third option, the Palestinians are animals and they deserve death. This is Gideon Levy, not me saying this. Now, if a Jew can say this, what's your interpretation of the Zionism movement? A Jew as top journalist as Levy, who has been interviewing politicians in Israel, has said that Zionism is wrong. Who am I to say Zionism is right? Now, this is another demonstration that has happened in Manchester City in England. You can Google it. The anti-Zionism in Manchester City. It was organized by this gentleman, and it belongs to the Jewish Activist Society in Manchester, and also the Work Coalition and Work Power Society in Manchester. This gentleman, you can Google this. It has just happened this week. Now, you can see all these were Jews who went to Manchester to protest against Zionism. Zionism means the love for your land. They think they have a holy place and it's Zion, so they must go back to the holy place and they must defend it by every means possible. Then rush the slides now. Just rush the slides, please. I won't now explain that much. Now, Jews against Gaza. Now, Dennis, you can look at this. These are statistics of the alleged crimes done by Israel soldiers on Palestinians. And amongst one's hostages swap, because Israel has about 5,000 Palestinians. Yes, Hamas is saying that there are 5,000 Palestinians in Israel jails. Then slash it now. And this is a source quoted from the Israel Information Center, not mine. This is how it reads, that Israel has military courts. Israel has military courts operated by soldiers to persecute the 5,000 Palestinians in their custody. Israel soldiers manage Israel courts, and many Palestinians have been dying in these courts. Now, this report shows that 95% of Palestinians detained in Israel are tortured. You can see this boy in handcuffs. 95% of Palestinian prisoners tortured in Israel, and 40% of them are male Palestinians population, because there are about 800,000 of the males, and then 40% of them has been always in and out of prison. Israel doubled numbers of Palestinian prisoners to 10,000 in 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, Israel has taken, as Israel has reported, Israel has taken over 10,000 prisoners in jails. Where do you put 10,000 prisoners, honestly? I don't even know. Al Jazeera has reported that they have taken 10,000. I'm giving you news as it has been happening this week. Now, UN said that Israel has taken over 800,000 Palestinians, including children as young as 12 years, and detained them in Israel since 1967 occupation. That is the UN, not me. They have taken over 800,000 Palestinians since 1967. Remember the 6-Day War? They have taken over 800,000 Palestinians. And Palestine has become an open door. And again, this allegation here, not my allegation, I've been picking them from newspapers, sex torture of Palestinian men by Israel authorities, that they torture men sexually in those prisons. This is not my reporting. I'm picking it from newspapers. Now, this is official. The New York Times, that Israel is silencing internal critics. This is not my own opinion. This is a guest essay in the New York Times this week. Israel is silencing protesters. And then what happened? The protesters went outside the home of Netanyahu and said, stop the killing of Palestinians. The protesters are who? Are Jews. They have gone to Netanyahu's house and said, stop killing Palestinians. These are American Jews. You can see how serious this situation is. Then very fast, we live here. Netanyahu is now surrounded. They are telling him, ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. Then continue, please. Ceasefire. Let's support for Israel is everywhere. Then now rush the photos. Everywhere, Israel is losing support. Everywhere. Look at this one. Pro-Israel campaign to wipe out Gazans. Let Israel finish the job. You can imagine, these are Americans. These are Americans in Washington. They have raised the banner. Let Israel finish the job. To finish what? Let Israel kill everyone in Gaza. These Americans, these Americans in a pro-Israel rally in Washington, D.C. this week. Check it out. Check it out. Now, in that rally, fortunately, the people said, I'm holding the pain of both people. These are Jews. They say, no, I don't support the killing of Palestinians. Please continue, Dennis. Please continue, Dennis. They are saying, no. You can see ceasefire campaign in the Capitol Hill, in the premises of the House of Power. This is the photo of the week. 2 young boys. One of them is about 2 years. Another one is about 4 years with a dead mother. They are full of blood. They say, do not shoot. Palestinian boys are getting killed. Their mothers dead. What will the 2-year-old boy do? What will the 4-year-old boy do with a dead mother, with a dead father, in a house which has been abandoned, which has been bombed to rubble? This is a sad story. We share with you these things not because we love them. We share with you this news to see how bad this world is, to see how despicable people are, to see how bad human beings are. I always say that human beings are more dangerous than animals. You have seen it. People want to wipe other people off the face of the earth. Benjamin Netanyahu is being sponsored by the American government. I've told you why in this episode. But Americans, majority are saying no, not in our name. I've told you Jews are peaceful people. Jews don't want war. Jews have been persecuted for 2,000 years. But Jews, majority of them don't want war. But they have a bad man in leadership, Benjamin Netanyahu, who was being impeached about a month and a half ago in Israel, who now wants to save face by doing everything despicable to remain relevant. And sadly, Benjamin Netanyahu is being sponsored by who? By Biden. By Biden. Joe Biden. By the American government. You can imagine people in the American government sit in their Congress and support the killing of Palestinians. Sometimes I sit down and take a deep sigh and say, how did we reach here? Is this the kind of Western civilization you people talk about? Where you are against Arabs, where you are against Muslims, where you hate these people to this extent that you don't mind killing pregnant women, you don't mind killing sick people, you don't mind killing children, you don't mind killing women, you don't mind killing old men and old women, you don't mind killing invalids simply because they are Arabs, simply because they are Muslims. And is this what you call Judeo-Christianism? What a shame. If this is what Western civilization means, then we don't need it. If this is what Western civilization means, then the world does not need it. Better take it to yourselves. This is terrible. This is a genocide. This is a genocide. This is apartheid. I'm happy that about 300 Arab lawyers, 300 Arab lawyers, and of course some European lawyers have ganged up to take Netanyahu to ISIS. I was in Netherlands. I went to The Hague. I'm a lawyer. I know how The Hague works. Maybe The Hague may save us from Benjamin Netanyahu. Maybe the lawyers who are having this idea to gather data to take Benjamin Netanyahu as a man who has committed a genocide. But I want him to be taken alongside those who have helped him to commit a genocide. I don't support Hamas. I don't support Hamas. Hamas are terrorists. But in law, we cannot use the same force, disastrous force, because a terrorist has forced us to behave that way. We cannot go and bomb a hospital and kill 500 people. We cannot bomb a hospital. We cannot bomb a school. We cannot bomb a mosque. A mosque is a place of worship. Leave a mosque alone. So this is bad. I condemn Hamas. I condemn Benjamin Netanyahu, and I condemn whoever supports Benjamin Netanyahu to do this havoc. This is Humanist TV Africa. This is Kato Mukasa. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. We shall give you more of the same analysis on what's going on a weekly basis. Stay safe, stay alert, and keep the activism alive. Keep your hope alive. Kato Mukasa, I sign out.